surely die.
I will surely die.
Your daddy was home when you left.
You're right.
Your brother was home when you left.
You're right.
Your sister was home when you left.
You're right.
Your cat was home when you left.
You're right.
Your dog was home when you left.
You're right.
Your mama, your brother, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cat, dog was home when you left.
You're right.
And that's the reason you left.
You're right.
All right. Shut all that doggone noise up. Ladies and gentlemen. It's still going somewhere. Shut up. All right, there you go. Okay. I got a delay for some reason. I don't know what's going on with that. It didn't happen the last time, but it was acting crazy. But hey, this is Brother Darryl McGriff, and this is another episode. This is my second one today. This is the Military Brat Chronicles. I know usually when you jump on my YouTube and my Facebook, you're used to seeing me talk about Love Sync music or Love Sync ministry, but I'm doing a thing now with the Military Brat Chronicles, where I am talking to a lot of the old high school people that were stationed over in Germany with their parents, and we all went to Bad Kreuznach American High School. We were the BK Bear Cats, and now with me I have one of the BK Bear Catters that actually was there about the same time I was there. He was there from 74 to 77. I was there late 75 to 78. So ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Put your hands together for Mr. Christopher Goodland, because that's where he's from, the good land. Mr. Christopher, how you doing, sir?
Great, how are you?
I can't complain. I don't know why I'm getting a delay and an echo, like I got three things going on at once. Great, yeah. So let me shut that down. That way I won't get it mixed up through the Facebook feed. So just to go ahead and get this party started, I'm going to go ahead and just ask 5 quick questions just to get the blood flowing, the juices going. So number one, I'm going to start with some high school stuff. So who was your high school crush?
Okay, first of all, I wasn't there for high school. I was there for elementary.
Ooh, who was your elementary crush? Even if you was a teacher.
I don't know if I had a crush being elementary school, but the one girl that stands out most in my mind is a girl named Sally Alpaw, and she was a bit more of a rival than a girlfriend or anything like that.
Matter of fact, I had talked to her on Facebook, and she was interested in coming on, but then when she found out it was going to be video, she changed her mind. So I was like, okay, yep. So yeah, all right then. Who was your favorite teacher?
Mrs. Childs.
Okay, somebody else.
Mrs. Childs. She was my 6th grade teacher,
okay.
And she lived in the quarters that were directly across the street from the elementary school. Just an all-around fun person, though.
Cool. And what was your favorite subject back then? You remember?
Recess. I don't know. History was good because, of course, field trips and history was hands-on there. And I mean, we had a lot of history there in BK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Also, now, what's your favorite sports team?
My favorite sports team quit out on us about 3 years ago. It was the Louisiana Ice Gators hockey team.
Oh, y'all actually had a professional hockey team?
We had. They went through two different leagues and 2 different franchises, and they are no more. Sadly enough, all we have is a very minor league team now called the Louisiana Drillers, but hockey's my sport.
All right, well, I guess you're going to have to come all the way to Dallas and watch you a Dallas Stars game. All right. Uh-oh, did you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I said you might have to come to Dallas, drive all the way to Dallas to watch the Dallas Stars game.
Yeah, I was tossing that over in my brain. I got a cousin that kind of lives up there in that area, but I don't know if he'd let me in his house.
All right, so let's get to the business at hand. So let me ask you this now: was your dad in the military when you were born?
Oh yes. Um, Dad was a career soldier. He enlisted way back in late 1950s, maybe 1960. He served as a guided missile mechanic. He got out. He went back to his hometown. He met my mom, got her pregnant, went back in the Army, and started a career there as a helicopter mechanic, A&P mechanic. Um, Being volunteer way back then was something special. So he got to pick the schools that he wanted, and helicopters were a new thing, and he did good at the classes, and they gave him an extra class called maintaining helicopters at an executive level.
Ooh.
So when I was born, he was in service to a high-ranking senator by the name of who was that? Hubert Humphrey.
What? Get out of here.
Yeah, so 1 month after I was born, Hubert Humphrey was suddenly the vice president.
Mm-hmm.
Dad was on his personal flight detachment in Minneapolis when I was born.
Wow. All right. So now, what all places were you stationed before you even got to BK?
Before I got to BK, I lived in a little tiny town west of Dallas. I can't even remember the name of it, but I was an infant, so I don't remember anything. My parents' hometown, Racine, Wisconsin, while Dad was in Vietnam. Fort Bragg, Fort Benning, Fort Belvoir, Fort Lewis. A little bit of time in Appleton, Wisconsin, when Dad was a recruiter, and then to Germany.
Okay. Okay. So, like I said, so now, how was it? So you were how old when you were there?
When what?
How old were you when you were there?
In BK? Oh, from about 9 years old till I was around 11.
Okay. So at that age and going overseas, how was that transition for you?
Oh, that was a big adventure. That was a seriously big adventure. I don't think you could have asked for a better place to be as a 10-year-old kid. There was so much going on in my life, learning how to be a person and friendships that, I mean, I'm looking back at the Bob Kreuznach groups on Facebook now, and I'm amazed that I've found several kids that went to school with me. As a brat, you don't normally get that at all.
Mm-hmm. So now, did you get involved in any of the things, sports or anything like that, or did you just go hang out at the DYA?
I hung out at the DYA. I had two older brothers, and so anytime anything went on sports related, they were always able to outdo me because they're a year more and 2 years more developed than I was. So I would always lose when it came to athletics. Now, when it came to the brain stuff, that's where I stepped in.
All right, that's great. That's great. So now, when you were there, where did you live?
We lived in building 5636 in quarters up on the hill, almost all the way to the end by the Hobel Apartments.
Okay, so you were on that the last street of the housing before you went up the hill into the economy then.
Yep, pretty much. And then all the way to the end of that.
And then, okay, then once you make that right to go all the way down, you just kept going almost till you start going down the hill again, or right
Yeah,
before
that was it. Right there where you start going, where you reach the edge of the hill.
Okay. So, man, the last guy I just interviewed, he lived in that same area, but he was there in 83, 84, and 85, but he said he lived in that same area over there by Romo.
So he was in there when he was in that there when the stairwell got blown out. They had a gas leak in the building, and it blew out half of the stairwell where I lived.
Wow. And what floor were you
We were on the second floor. I got stationed in Germany. I went in the army myself, and I went back to Germany.
Mhm.
And come New Year's, I went to Bad Kreuznach, and I was going to go knock on the door and look at my old apartment. And I stood on the ground, and I looked up at the closet next to the front door, and I looked at the kitchen cabinets, all from on the ground, because the side of the building was gone.
Wow, that's weird. So where were you stationed when you went over there?
In and around Nuremberg,
Okay,
twice.
what part?
Hmm?
What concern?
I was on Merrill Barracks for a while,
Okay, okay.
with my main customers being Second Cav, and then I went out towards the border and supported them in Amberg and then in Bamberg.
Right.
And then
Okay.
I got over there for another enlistment into Erlangen.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, when I joined and went over there, I was in Grafenbeer, and I was with the 65th Postal at the time. So they sent me up to Nuremberg because Nuremberg serviced that whole area.
Right.
Grafenbeer, Amberg, Hohenfels, Wildflicken, all that whole area over there. So
Yeah, and now the only things left in that area is Hohenfels, Vilsek, and Graf.
yeah, all the training sites, they're not going to close those down.
Right.
So yeah, right,
And Second
exactly.
Cav is in Vilsek.
Right. So what do you so what did you really get out of being, I mean, what do you really remember about being in BK and what was so fun about
Field trips. We did the tourist thing when I was there as a kid. I mean, we'd go around and see all the sites and do everything that the tourists would do. So we got a lot of hands-on stuff. Again, the field trips in school. I mean, what kid in the U.S. goes to see ancient Roman ruins? We went to Trier, and there was an old villa on the backside of the hill behind the castle there in Bad Kreuznach. We went to Wiesbaden to the Gutenberg Museum. I mean, who sees the Gutenberg Bibles on a field trip?
it?
That doesn't happen in the U.S.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Because like I said, we were there at the same time, but I was in high school, so I wouldn't even know what the elementary was doing or where they was taking y'all or what was going on. So that's what's kind of interesting about that exactly. So what did they have you guys doing in the 70s? And like you said, you got the experience of going to, like I said, see different things, what you would have never experienced being in the elementary school over here in the States. So yeah, that had to be fun. Um, do you remember or were you able to go to any of the carnivals or the fests that they used to have going on all the time?
Well, let's see. BK had the Yarmart. We went to that every time, and every time that they had a static display out on Rose Barracks, when they put out the tanks and stuff, and we go play on all of that. The circus would come to town, and we hang out with that. I mean, we did everything. Um, Another thing that we did a lot was Boy Scouts, so we went camping a lot. I mean, we were all over the place, high adventure, getting into everything and anything we could. It was great fun.
Yeah, I see, man. Yeah, it definitely kept you guys busy. Like you said, man, I wouldn't have never realized that, known that, or anything.
Here's
So,
one for you. You were in high school. Did you play on the football team?
yeah,
Do you remember going to an away game in Holland?
yeah, I go over there. We gonna, I'm going
Because I know my brothers and I, we went to see a football game, an away game, specifically because it was in Holland and we had to bring our passports with us.
I'm trying to think because I've been up. I'm trying to think. I know we went to Brussels. But no, that was basketball. Football. And you know something? If do you know if that was in 74?
That was probably 76, I would say.
76. Well, I was definitely there. I wonder man, my mind's so bad, it's a shame. And if you went to Holland, man, 76, I was definitely in the house. So if you say we went, then hey, we went. But yeah, so yeah, that was another thing I liked about it because just like you said, being in high school playing football, like okay, I'm here in Texas now in the Dallas area. So we just hit, these areas around here, and I don't think we would have gone any more than an hour away unless you had to play a state championship game. But like I said, over in Germany, like I said, man, we were going to, we going to Brussels, like I said, Holland, man, we was going all over the place. Like I said, you need your passport and all that kind of good stuff. So you couldn't have got that type of experience and exposure to different countries and different people. Okay, Holland. Absent. Wasn't absent in Holland? That's where Holland was.
That could be it. Name would be a rough one for me to pull out, but
Boom, you right.
But the international stuff, I mean, my brothers and I did Boy Scouts, and we had summer camp one year on the French border, and we went to Holland, or not to Holland. We went to Belgium the next year for summer camp, and then back to the French border. We would do a lot of campouts with a unit of British Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, and I mean everything we did over there was all international,
Right. Yeah. But yeah, now the old brain pan kicked in. Absent was in Holland, so you're right. We did go up there.
I think that was the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I forgot what it stands for, but it was something. But yeah, absent was up there in Holland, so you're right. We did go up there, and that was the football game. So yep. Oh man, so that brought back long time ago.
I know that's what this Facebook stuff is doing. If you use it the right way, it helps you remember things and find old friends again,
Yeah. So that's great, man. So what else did you, besides that, as far as, like you said, now in the elementary school, how was the friendship thing? Y'all really develop friends and buddies and all that kind of good stuff?
Well, I did, but the same old thing with most Army brats is eventually you move away, and we didn't have all the good communications like we do today, so you'd almost forget everybody you knew unless you were a diehard sit down write a letter person, and I was always too hyper for that. Writing a letter means almost like a punishment. I got to sit down and think for an hour.
Right. So now, did you have any brothers and sisters?
Two brothers.
Two brothers.
Yeah, two brothers.
Okay. And so what were they into when they was
there? Pretty much the same stuff. I mean, we'd go Volks marches on the weekends, and we'd go shooting on the weekends that we didn't. Our dad would teach us how to shoot up at the ranges on Gutenberg Hill. So, sightseeing, tourist, and getting into trouble and trying to avoid getting caught.
So now when you say getting in trouble, what trouble a 10-year-old getting into?
Well, let's just say I didn't get caught.
Uh-huh. Hey, I'm sure the statute of limitations are up by now.
Well, let's see. There was some of those good old German fireworks, and there's a door that got blown off its hinges by some of them. And I mean a big, thick, heavy-duty metal door.
This is on one of the housing?
Yeah, in the housing area, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, you got to be glad you didn't get caught. They probably try to send you back to the States then. Yeah, that is crazy, man. Now, do you ever remember any of the winters in BK?
Not specifically as being any kind of harsh, because of I mean, I lived in Washington State and I lived in Wisconsin before moving to Germany, so cold winters was normal to me.
Right. So
weird when I came down here to Louisiana and they had a 9-month summer.
Yeah, because I remember in that time frame, there's two, so it had to be like 76 and 77, 2 New Years straight that everything just iced up. And like I said, we were at the top of the hill, and you know how they had the sidewalk that goes down and then the steps, because it goes down into next set of housing down there, and we used to just slide down those cement steps, because everything was just iced over, just slide. Oh, man, that was wild, and it was kind of cold too. But it didn't make us no difference. We just had fun doing it. See, and you were too young. You were probably too young to remember. I could just hit my mom, and then it just left me. It was the thing that they did once a year, where all the Germans put all their old stuff out on the street.
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember Junk Day.
Yeah, junk.
That's what we called it. We called it Junk Day.
Yeah, man. They don't do that here, but yeah, that was. And I mean, you could get some good stuff too. I mean, shoot, man.
We have hurricanes down here that take care of that for you.
Say the hurricane just blow the stuff blow the stuff in your yard, huh? Or either take
all
it
over the place.
Yeah. So now, what part of Louisiana are you in?
Lafayette.
Lafayette? Okay. Oh, Lafayette. Okay, that's not too bad.
Well, the big industry down here is oil field, and Dad fixing helicopters when he got out of the Army come down here because helicopters to bring people offshore.
Mm-hmm.
Mom bought a house, and they lived there for the last 40 years.
Okay. So now, so after your guys left BK, where did y'all end up being stationed after that?
3 years at Fort Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And there at Fort Campbell, Dad started the transition from Hueys to Blackhawks.
Mm-hmm.
And then he retired.
Okay. So that's where you graduated from there?
Nope, graduated here in New Iberia, Louisiana.
Okay. So then what made you decide to join the military?
Oh, I knew I was going to join the military when I was in high school. It was my calling.
Yeah.
I had to be a soldier.
Mm. And what MOS did you end up going into?
I was a field radio repair technician.
Okay. All right. So where did you guys train
at? My school was at Fort Gordon, Georgia, and after that, I went straight to Merrill Barracks, Nuremberg.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the people on the border, keep their radios working for them. That's, that back then that was important. The number one thing for our border troops was to help Easterners crossing. If they, once they cross a particular line, we could take action and help them. Other than that, the border mission was to say, here they come. And to say, here they come, they needed a radio. So that's where I fit in.
Okay, all right. That was pretty nice there. Not too bad. How long did you stay in?
I made it through 7 years. I didn't complete my second enlistment. I had a troubled marriage, and so I had to get out early. But I mean, the wall came down while I was there, and they were looking at troop reduction, and they sent me home to take care of my kids. And all of a sudden, here comes the Gulf War, so I missed it. Just so close,
Oh, okay.
I kind of hate that I missed it, but what do you do?
You definitely would have been over there with that radio communication, that's for sure. Yeah, because I know that military is not that good on a lot of. Well, I was young too, so it didn't make no difference. But yeah, I was married 10 years. I married my first wife while I was over in Germany, stationed in Kaiserslautern. So yeah, that was 10 years and a daughter, and then we ended up getting divorced, and I ended up doing the thing in 91, stationed in Korea, where they did get the money and run. Like you said, yeah. Same thing. I was in debt and marital issues, so I said, man, let me get some money there. So that's what I did. I took the money and ran. So.
My thing, of course, part of being a brat is, we grew up seeing these GIs that would get the girl pregnant, and then he'd disappear, and she'd be left with a kid for a GI, and going, what do I do now? Well, I got the girl pregnant, but I took responsibility for it. And the plus side, of course, is that I see my kids every day. They're in their 30s now, but they're here in the States with me. They're both close by. My oldest son was just here for dinner earlier tonight, so I got that going for me.
Yeah.
May have lost my 20-year career didn't happen, but I got my kids.
Right. So now, speaking of that, do they have a VA center there in Lafayette or close by?
We have one of the newest VA clinics in the nation. My congressman, the cycle before this one, he started a program where he got about 15 new clinics built all around the nation, and of course his own district started with them. So we got a good VA clinic.
All right, well, that's good. That's, you can't beat that. So here in the Dallas area, they got one in Dallas and in Fort Worth, and then they have like satellite offices around also. So it works out pretty good here. So can't complain with that. So now, what exactly are you doing now these days? What's happening with you?
I'm struggling. Nobody's drilling for oil right now, so that being the main industry here in the Lafayette area, I'm struggling, but I'm making it by. Of all that adapt and overcome upbringing, I'm still adapting and overcoming.
Hey, you might have to go up there to is it Midland? Yeah, Midland, Odessa. They say they drilling oil up there like crazy. People up there just making all kinds of money.
Have you been to Midland, Odessa? The downside is it's Midland, Odessa.
Hey, you can go ahead and put your tent there, man.
Right now, I've got a feeler for a job in Pennsylvania, up there drilling for that shale up there that they're working on.
What part of Pennsylvania is that?
They've got the company's looking for people in my particular job for 3 different locations: one in West Virginia, one in Western Pennsylvania, one in North Central Pennsylvania. So there's possibilities.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Western Pennsylvania, so they might be all in the Pittsburgh area.
I guess that's another one of those benefits that comes from that brat life, is that the adaptability and the wanderlust. I still love to travel. I'm up to the point where I've been to 42 states. I still got a couple left to go, and I've got something around 28 countries.
Oh, okay. Oh man, that's good. So now, when you were stationed in Germany, did you do a lot of traveling when you went back? Now that you're older, you got a little money, you know what to do?
Sadly, no. I did a little bit of traveling. I went to England twice, once for a concert. That was a really good experience. I mean, long time ago, but, and of course I went to Berlin for the big concert there when the wall came down. That was something.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know, when I joined the Army and went back and ended up in draft, I know I went back to BK because I graduated. Well, I didn't graduate there, but I left in '78, came back to the States that 1 year, '79, graduated up there because my dad was at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. So I graduated at Lawton High in '79. Went to Cameron University for 1 year. Like, I don't want to be here no more. Joined the Army, and I went right back to Germany to draft. And then I just took a trip up to BK. Some of the old teachers and stuff were still there, so that was pretty cool. But while I was there that first time, instead of me, really, hey, I'm single, making some money, I could have went to anywhere, man, and I ain't really go anywhere. It wasn't until I went back over there and got married, and then I ended up going to France and Spain and stuff like Luxembourg and stuff like that. But when I look back on it, I wasted time just hanging in Germany when I could have been all over the place over there. But, you're young, you're done, you don't know no better. So,
yep,
it's what it is. So now your kids. Talk to me about your kids, man. How many kids you have?
I have 2 sons from my first marriage. My ex is German, and she's in Germany, and she's not a nice person these days. I think my oldest son finally blocked her on Facebook. She's that bad. I mean, my oldest son, he's He works for the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Department as a corrections officer. Works in the jails, and he does prisoner transports all over the state. And he does veterans advocacy volunteer work like I do. And he does animal rescue volunteer stuff like I do. My youngest son, he's given me 2 grandkids so far. And then my wife now, she's my high school sweetheart. Her and I got back together after 10 years apart. She's got 2 grandkids, and they look at me and say, "Grandpa, so I must have done something right," you know.
Right. I got you. I understand that. So then let me do this. Let me ask you this. So because we're talking about BKers, so tell me, what do you think being in BK, how was that? How did that shape your life for the time, for that time that you were there?
Oh, I had a lot of character building going on then. Looking back at it, I was not always a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of things bad, and I reflect on that time a lot, and I look at my character flaws, and I look at things that I wish I had done better or different. Of course, a big thing in the world today, there's a lot of people in our country looking at the issues of black and white and racism and what's prejudice and what's not prejudice. And I see things I did back then that stopped me in my tracks, where I was amazed at what an idiot I was. And then there was instances where, because I was an American kid out here in this German city, I was the butt of it too. I was the butt of prejudice simply for being an American. And I got to say, on the plus side, that helped me shape my brain for how I was looking at the rest of the world, the rest of my life. And as a 10-year-old kid, that's good medicine there. It's good medicine to learn what it looks like on the other side, so that you look at how you treat other people too. Right. So I show everyone respect now as much as I can, and I'm willing to take the first step to show anyone respect. Doesn't matter race, doesn't matter religion, doesn't matter national origin. Nothing matters except presenting yourself nice to the rest of the world.
There you go. And now, at 10 years old, if you learn that at 10, man, like I said, brother, that shaped you good for the rest of your life to, like I said, just to be able to be a good person, from 10 years on. Because like I said, even over there, when I was over there, I went over there at 15. So even at 15, it was just crazy, man. Some of the stuff that we did, like you said, I didn't blow no doors off the housing area, but still did some crazy stuff. we did some crazy stuff also. So, but yeah, man. But hey, man, let me tell you, brother, I really appreciate you jumping on with me, man, and telling everybody about your experience, what's going on with you in your life. And I know everything is going to work out for you, because you're a good guy. And I don't care when it comes now. Back in the day, when it came to women, they said good guys always finish last. But in life, man, as long as you stay positive and you're a good guy, everything's gonna work out for you. So I know you're gonna bounce back on your feet. Everything's gonna be great, and maybe you come back on and tell a whole different story. You never know.
Well, I look at it this way: I may not be financially rich, but the memories I got and the family love I got around me, you couldn't be richer than that.
There you go. You're right about that. You are right about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs and all them other good things that's watching YouTube and Facebook, this is Brother Dowell McGriff on behalf of Mr. Christopher Goodland. Old BKers from back in the 70s. So you guys make sure that you stay tuned for some more military brat chronicles that will be coming to you. Until then, you guys be safe, stay safe, and always remember to walk in love. So until next time, peace.